Hello, welcome back. I'm of course Statman Dave, and today we are doing tomorrow's transfers today. Of course, unlocking all the transfers in the world of Manchester United every single day, Monday to Friday, at, of course, 11 o'clock. So not every day, but Monday to Friday until the end of the window. So make sure, of course, you jump into that. There's some good stuff, obviously, on the Full-Time Devils YouTube channel at the moment. Ray Bobbins has gone on another rant, tearing apart the current system. And of course, if you haven't seen it, the transfer review of course, me, Statman Dave. Today we're going to be talking about a number of different players in a number of different positions in a number of different clubs. We've got Yerry Mina, we've got Harry Maguire, Lewandowski, Pogba, and of course, Willian. After every little point, I'm going to get into your comments, so make sure, of course, to type away all your questions, your thoughts, and all the things that I'm going to be talking about right now. Anyway, without further ado, you guys know what to do. Let's get this little party started. First up, of course, Yerry Mina. The Colombian centre-half has been playing a few games on Instagram, and quite frankly, it means absolutely nothing. Of course, Yerry Mina taking out the Barcelona tag in his profile, following Manchester United, following Antonio Valencia, following Paul Pogba, and now there is a world of transfer news on the press. Everyone thinks it's a move, and it's absolute rubbish. And for me, I don't think United need him. There's players, at United, like Yerry Mina is an interesting player, a player that's got great potential as a centre-half. As Eric Bay, Victor Lindelof, they're of similar ages, that have got probably a similar peak. And Yerry Mina right now isn't the solution to Manchester United's problem. So for me, I'd probably say no. But guys, get into the comments. Would you take Yerry Mina from Barcelona? The good things with that deal is it's around £30 million compared to the likes of, 65 for Harry Maguire. There's 55 for, of course, Toby Alderweireld. What do you guys think? Could this be another option, or is it another centre-back that's just going to sit on the United bench for another season? I quite enjoyed the centre-back's performance against Liverpool. Of course, the rest of the team didn't play too great, but I thought, Tuanzebe, Fosu Mensah played well, and of course Eric Bay made a number of good challenges in and around the box. But guys, would you take Yerry Mina? Go look into the comments straight away. Yerry Mina is the guy we are talking about, but it's all about other things. We need Zidane, we need Sandro, we need other players in there. Mina, no, we don't need Mina, we need Maguire. Mina's just another Bay. Interesting comments coming in there. I take Mina over Smalling, coming in from Tom Edwards. Interesting there. Chris Smalling of MUFC. Of course, scored the winner in the derby, but is a little bit inconsistent again. If you watch the AC Milan game in pre-season, he kind of let Suso run in behind him. Bonucci with a great ball over the top. Of course, Bonucci's my number one, but Bonucci ain't joining. There's a lot of rumours that Bonucci will be going back to Juventus, and Gonzalo Higuain will be moving to AC Milan. Leonardo's gone from PSG as sporting director to AC Milan as sporting director, and kind of likes Gonzalo Higuain and wants, of course, to bring him to Milan. That'd be pretty tasty up front. But we aren't talking about that. We're talking about Yerry Mina. Into the comments, we dive in again. We do not need Mina. Got 60 million to spend on a centre-back. Probably not the thing. No, Mina, please. Maguire in capitals. All right, Dave, coming in from Buster B. Shout out to Buster B right now. Need Toby. Mina is the South American Chris Smalling from Billy T. Top banter there. But anyway, guys, should we move on to Yerry Mina? Because again, it's so much rubbish. It's just Instagram. It doesn't mean anything. But something that does mean something. Claude Puel has been talking, of course, about Harry Maguire. There's some quotes in the Bleacher Report. So talking about Maguire, I'm very confident out of the presence of Maguire this season. He's a very good player for us. I'm not surprised about his performances during the World Cup. We saw his progress during the second half of the season. He was great. He played very well. And it's not a surprise to me that he performed so well at the international level. Harry Maguire, a real breakout star at the World Cup, really moved himself from a defender that was a good player, good ball player, physical, strong, to being really dominant. And again, that's what Harry Maguire could bring Manchester United. Dominance in and around the penalty area. The big thing that I thought about Maguire, again, with his size, he looks like a player that you could isolate 1v1 and go on the outside with the dribble, but, again, that didn't happen in the World Cup. The likes of Colombia with Cuadrado didn't isolate Maguire. Maguire's so comfortable when he's, with his back four, with his back three for England, but also a really, really good ball player. Against Croatia in the semi-final, Maguire was the only player still playing forward. Pickford and Walker and, of course, John Stones, they have an absolute nightmare under the press. Stones and Walker were going back to Pickford. Pickford was just punting it along. It was pathetic from England in a build-up perspective. But if you looked at Harry Maguire, he completed his second most passes to Dele Alli and ahead of him. forward passing, and that's what you're going to get from Harry Maguire. He's a very good ball player, surprisingly good. Another thing as well with Mourinho, likes his English centre-halves. You think John Terry was 23 when Mourinho joined Chelsea. John Terry became the best defender, one of the best defenders in the Premier League. And then you take in someone like Gary Cahill, who was a little bit hit and miss at Villa, at Bolton, and then turning him into a guy that, eventually went on to win the Premier League under Mourinho and under Conte. So I think there's something with Mourinho, and he just likes sort of English centre-halves. Maybe it's not quite worked out with Jones and Smalling, maybe the personality isn't quite there, but someone like Harry Maguire seems like he can be sort of pushed to that next level. And again, another problem at the moment with transfers is, clubs know that the Premier League's window ends on the 9th of August, so they're going to be sitting there and they're just going to sit him back, and clubs in the Premier League don't want to sell to each other. So there's all this big problem with this window finishing early. I don't know why the Premier League side decided to vote, because most seasons a lot of these Premier League teams do awful business and then they recover and they spend loads of money at the back end of the window because they realise these players don't fit their squad. But anyway, guys, into the comments. Do you think Harry Maguire will leave Leicester City? Claude Puel coming out, of course, today, saying that he fully expected Maguire to excel at the World Cup, which he did, and he's very happy with Maguire around the Leicester team. So it's one of these things. Do you think that there's a chance there for the transfer, or is it going to cost too much money? Going to get in here, guys. We need Toby and, of course, Toby or Maguire. Maguire reminds me of Vidic, but better with the ball at his feet. I mean, they're very different players. I think Vidic was a little bit more raw, a little bit more aggressive than Harry Maguire, but Harry Maguire is aggressive, don't get me wrong. Lovely stuff. Sign Bear Grylls. I don't think Bear Grylls plays football. James Dunn. Sign Pulisic. Could be interesting. Apparently Dortmund are willing to let him go for around 70 million euros. That is a lot of money, but Christian Pulisic, a very good talent. Simon Chigwell saying, Rafael Varane would be a good signing. We should sign Pulisic. That's coming in. Yes, Harry will leave. Interesting from Carmen. Harry will leave, which would be good. Maguire is not worth the value, it's a fair point. That's an interesting one. It's kind of blown up. It's really blown up because United need a centre-half. Leicester don't need to sell, of course, because they let Mahrez go to Manchester City. It's a supply and demand thing where Leicester don't need the cash. They've kind of done their business. Johnny Evans has been signed to arguably partner Harry Maguire. They've got Ricardo Pereira from Porto, James Maddison. They've kind of done their business. They don't really need anyone else, but it's quite interesting. Anyway, let's move on to Lewandowski. The Polish centre-forward striking legend. His goal record is an absolute joke. 527 games, 332 goals. Okay, and if there was no Lionel Messi, no Cristiano Ronaldo, we'd be looking at Lewandowski as probably one of the best players in world football. One of the interesting sides, of course, with Lewandowski did join, from Borussia Dortmund. For me, he played better football at Borussia Dortmund. There was more balls to Lewandowski. Played more of a target man as well as a bit as a goal scorer. With, of course, Guardiola was just him getting into the penalty area. And it's one of those frustrating things where Lewandowski was better at Dortmund and would be better under someone like Mourinho, a counter-attacking manager that looks to play with pace on the break. But the quotes, of course, coming out from Lewandowski today saying that he doesn't want to live in Manchester. Manchester isn't an attractive place to live. Robert, you are completely wrong. Manchester is a great place to live. And on the 6th day, of course, God did build Manchester. So you're just letting yourself down there, buddy. You could be playing with big Romelu Lukaku up front with Paul Pogba. But no, you're taking shots at Manchester. Absolute rubbish. This is for a player as well that if there wasn't the Icelandic volcano incident a few years ago, maybe 10 years ago, he would have signed for Blackburn. So how can he slate Manchester? I do not know. Lewandowski will pretty much will be staying at Bayern Munich, I do believe. Quotes from Niko Kovac as well, saying that he's throwing his toys out the pram at the moment, just having a little bit of a mess. But guys, would you take Lewandowski if he likes Manchester? If you can convert him to someone that enjoys, going to the northern corner, having a few bevies or a coffee? Is Lewandowski someone that you want, or are we okay in that area? For me, I think we're okay. Sanchez, Lukaku, Anthony Martial, Marcus Rashford can all play in that position. So, Robert, sling your up, lad. We don't even want you anyway. Keep getting in. Like Manchester is wonderful. That's what we want to get in there. No, Lewandowski is too old. I'd rather have Giroud than Lewandowski. Lewandowski had a very poor World Cup, correct. Lewandowski is not coming to United. Ross Murray, I completely agree. Looks like Real Madrid, if anywhere. But I do probably think that he's going to stay with Niko Kovac at, of course, Bayern München. Anyway, guys, let's move on to the next story. And it's about Paul Pogba again. More angling from Mina Raiola, quotes in the MEN saying that he's unsettled, he wants to escape route of Manchester United. It's just all rubbish. Either it's Mina Raiola playing for a new contract with United, or it's Mina Raiola trying to sell Pogba, but I just don't believe it. Pogba's chilling, man. He's so chilling at the moment. You see his Instagram stuff. Why didn't he have coloured hair at the World Cup? Because he wanted people to think about his performance, not his haircut. So for me, this one is a non-starter. Get in the comments, guys. Will Paul Pogba leave Manchester United? Absolutely not. You telling Manchester is great. We don't need another striker. Great comment. That was on the Lewandowski thing we were chatting about before. Don't sell Martial. Mourinho won't sell him. Again, that's coming about Paul Pogba. I do believe we would like a right winger. Paul Pogba, not a right winger, but probably could play there. I'd like to see him in the wide areas. I reckon he could do a job out there, in the bigger games, maybe left midfield, right midfield. Decent. Paul Pogba, a very good little all-talent. Pogba needs to prove himself this season. He has the ability to improve. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. Paul Pogba has the ability to be the best in the Premier League, and we'll see that this season. To finish things off, in transfer news, before we talk about Mourinho, Willian, speaking to Global Esporto, quoted in the Mirror, insisting he's happy at Chelsea with, given the sort of rumours that Mourinho wants to bring him to Old Trafford. He's happy at Chelsea and wants to stay there. Again, £65 million for Willian is absolutely bonkers. This rumours continued. He was linked heavily with Barcelona. Of course, they signed Malcolm, a very talented individual, so they don't need him anymore. But I do think Willian will be probably playing for Sarri next season, not at Old Trafford. Can you get into the comments, guys? Would you like Willian? We should get Alex Telles from Porto. Interesting stuff there. We're overlooking a massive hole in our squad. Zaha on Mertens. Pogba will retire at Manchester United from Matthew Gordon. I do like Chicharito. Bring him back to United. Probably stays if or when Hazard leaves. Interesting from Shiva. I kind of agree with that. You're not looking like Willian and Hazard leave in one window. And thank God we're not getting Willian. That comes in from Jorge Lucas. But anyway, guys, let's finish things off by talking about the papers tomorrow. They've absolutely gone for Mourinho, the Daily Express, quoting United on the edge, concern among players and bosses over Mourinho's angry outbursts about Valencia and Martial. The Telegraph going with something similar, Mourinho meltdown. We're fed up, coming from the Daily Mail. It's just all absolutely rubbish. And the Daily Sport, the Mirror Sport saying, what a United state. Such rubbish. God, I'm so sick of this rubbish. Mourinho acts one way in a press conference. He's doing it for a reason. He's doing it for whatever reason he's doing it for. But you listen to him when he's talking about how everyone is in the training camp, everyone's dead happy, the initiations that we're seeing at Instagram from the likes of Taith Chong, Angel Gomez. I think the guys are having a good time. And honestly, I think this whole thought that Mourinho, I don't know, man, he's making comments for a reason. He potentially wants to push through transfers, potentially wants to do something, but don't read into it. Again, the thing that was missed today, yesterday that was missed in the press conference post-Liverpool was Mourinho saying pretty much, I've got 5 signings that I gave the board to make at the start of the window. Now they're saying we're going to get 2, maybe we only get 1, but quite frankly, I'm happy with my squad right now. Remember, United played Liverpool. There are around 12 players that have still, not come back from holiday. The likes of Pogba, David De Gea and Lukaku are sort of best players. This whole Mourinho stuff is really interesting. You take Chelsea. He left Chelsea both times because the board didn't back him in terms of transfers. He left Real Madrid for a similar reason. And again, it's interesting that this meltdown comes, but maybe it's just Mourinho's way that he's trying to communicate to whoever holds the budget that, look, we need some of these guys to come in. We need the left back. We need a centre back. Look, the papers have turned on Mourinho. Whatever. I don't care. I'm Statman Dave. Make sure, of course, to check out the transfer review on the